Hello everybody, I am Jmulls of Jmulls Gaming, and Black Myth Wukong is seeing mind-boggling success right now, and I want to talk about why I think this game is seeing the success that it is seeing right now. The more I play the game, the more I fall in love with it, and the more then I think the sales numbers are starting to make a lot more sense. The number going around right now is 10 million copies being sold on all platforms in only 3 days of its launch. We're seeing this game absolutely skyrocket on Steam charts for concurrent players. Its peak player base on Steam alone was 2.4 million, with 3 million concurrent players across all platforms. So we're seeing Steam be a big chunk of that. This game has been a breakout success, and a lot of people were anticipating this game not only to sell well, but to perform well as well. But I don't know if anyone truly expected this. And I think the reason this game is being received so well is because it's firing on all cylinders. It doesn't try to be a bit of everything. It has a strong identity and is trying new ideas, but combining those new ideas with familiar ones that are well received and well liked, so digesting these new ideas is far more palatable and easy and seamless. Let's get into it. A big one for me right now has been the story. The setting overall has been really nice, exploring Chinese mythology with the same love and care that we often see Greek and Norse mythology treated with. It opens people up to a rich tapestry of stories they may have just never seen before, but they've seen references to, so they never understood it. So now they're getting some more context behind it. Like I said before, the game is filled with familiar ideas juxtaposed with refreshing takes and risk-taking. The gameplay is reminiscent of a Souls-esque game, and we'll get into that one. And while that idea, that title of being a Souls-like, is often overused, it applies here. I mean, you play this game for any length of time, and its inspiration from FromSoft is readily abundant and obvious. But it doesn't use that as a crutch, it uses it as a springboard to test its own ideas out, to be adventurous, to forge its own identity. And one major way that it does this is by bringing to the table a bunch of powers intrinsic to Sun Wukong's story and packaging them up in thrilling and interesting gameplay and encounters. Having different stances makes the staff gameplay varied, but also feel as if you're properly using a staff. You can summon clones, immobilize enemies, transform into other creatures for big powerful movesets. The game is filled with passion and rich details that are interwoven in zone design. The beautiful graphics just make everything pop, and the game is simply a joy to explore. It is this minimalistic approach to music that makes the soundtrack in particular, for me, pop. And it pops more when it does play because I'm not hearing it all the time. I'm not hearing the one song for the zone on repeat all the dang time. It knows when it just needs to allow the environment to speak for itself. And by doing so, it makes navigation and exploration a very relaxing experience. And to me, it makes the game simply fun to spend time in and soak up the little details and architecture. I like going slowly and just exploring all these little ruins that I find scattered about the place, especially in Chapter 2. The environmental detail is really nice. The game feels fun and rewarding if you want to speed through it and just go boss, 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 or if you want to take time to smell the roses and explore the locations and find the secrets, because there's a lot of them. And the characters themselves are pretty big and bold, and they're just fun. There's nothing that's ever too deep, right? Like, we're not getting hours of cutscenes or anything like that, but in a world that feels largely hostile, they again elect for a Souls approach and scatter a few NPCs throughout the world with fun little stories to tell, or let their big personalities breathe life into these places. You got the drunk monkey that upgrades your gourd, you have BoJack Horseman you can find periodically, and I just found this hippo guy, who I just missed out on, because despite feeling as if I explored everything, I then get bombarded with TikToks about, hey, you completely missed this big secret, here you go. I'm like, oh, that's cool, I want to go do that. So I can then go and, well, explore the world some more. It's great. I think oftentimes we can really underestimate the power and value of a world that's simply fun to be in, and I think Black Myth Wukong is able to nail this idea. And it doesn't do it through any one thing, it's through a collection of well-executed ideas and concepts. The music is fitting and well-placed. They don't bombard you with NPCs and dialogue and story and all that. They drip-feed it to you in interesting ways. And if you want to explore more, and you want to read more, and you want to get every little detail, you can, but you don't have to. It is a very simple story approach, but overall narrative, and it can go as deep as you really want it to. If you want it to just be surface level, you can have it be surface level. If you want to read every item description and every journal entry, you can do that as well. If you want to explore the tapestry you get at the end of the chapter for some more lore and context, you can do that or just skip by it. I guarantee you that a lot of people out there that didn't even realize if you zoomed in on the tapestry at the end of chapter 1, there's various sections of that painting you can explore and get more text and lore about. And you combine these elements: beautiful graphics, great sound design, great music implementation, well-written dialogue, and well-voiced dialogue at that, fun little encounters, secrets throughout the world. You combine that with the gameplay being familiar, but different, but still, at the end of the day, really fun. And I think discussion on Black Myth Wukong in particular suffers from one kind of internetism, in my opinion, and that is this needless obsession to compare it to what came before all the time and in every regard. Sure, the game has not had a boss that made me feel that level of adrenaline or hype like Melania or Radon from Elden Ring, stuff like that, right? I genuinely don't think most people are gonna be like, ow, there's no Radon so far in this game, 0 out of 10. Like, that's just not a thing that's gonna be happening. The bosses in this game range in terms of their difficulty. Some can be pretty dang hard, like that one tiger fight in chapter 2. Some can be absolute pushovers and easy. But it's about how the game balances these different difficulties, these different encounters. Some people will naturally struggle with a certain boss, and others will just roll through it. And that happens on a boss by boss basis. But there hasn't been a fight so far that I actively disliked, and I thought every fight that I fought so far has been an additive experience that has given me something that I appreciated, whether it is because of the visuals, or whether it is because of how fast-paced and hectic it is, or how cool the fight is mechanically, or how cool it is visually. Not everything needs to be so over-the-top and grandiose and epic. The game excels in having a range of scales. And you combine that with the game giving you interesting tools in your kit. The match can be really fun in this game. Lord, do I wish there was a way to regenerate mana, though. And maybe there is, because this game is filled to the brim with secrets, so maybe that exists somewhere, and I just haven't found it yet. But oh my god, would I love a gourd that lets me, like, recharge my mana. Just something in that regard. Each individual talent isn't anything to particularly write home about, but it gives you a good sense of progression, and power progression at that, on a regular basis. And you combine that with the range of spells that you get. You can transform, you can summon duplicates of yourself, immobilize the enemy, you get a parry in chapter 2, or you get like this Misty Step-esque ability. They're all cool and fun to use, and they can change your gameplay flow and style. And you can equip armor sets that incentivize further playing a particular style if that floats your boat. On top of that, the gourd. Very simple, and it very well may be an illusion of choice to some degree, but you can augment the gourd and the various affixes that it gives you. Different benefits. I just want healing, so I elect to go for the soak that gives me a heal over time on top of a big chunky heal at the beginning. But I know later on you can find even more gourds themselves which give you different abilities. One of them I know will sacrifice your healing but give you an additional attack boost. It's a bunch of little choices throughout that can augment the experience, and while they don't have to be big and flashy all at once, in combination with one another, they give you at least the illusion of a whole bunch of different playstyles, but the game also has a bunch of different playstyles on top of that, with all the different spells, the way you utilize them, your priorities. Do you want to just hit with your staff and get really good at that and dodging? You can do that. Heck, you can even augment your dodging with various benefits the game gives you. The game isn't about being this oppressively hard game on a consistent basis. It's about your power progression, making you feel more powerful and more like Sun Wukong as the game goes on. It gives you more toys to play around with, more options to experiment with. And the game understands this is what it is, and it doesn't try and be a little bit of everything. It understands that this is the cup that it has, and it fills it to the brim. It doesn't try and please everyone, but the people that this game does target, it tries to please them more than anything else. And I think it does an amazing job at this. I'm just coming off of my second Elden Ring playthrough, and this game has been refreshing, similar in certain regards, but it brings a bunch of cool novel ideas to the table, or iterates on ideas that have been done before but in interesting ways that fit this game. And I think at the end of the day, people just want a good game to play, and Black Myth Wukong is a great game to play. There's none of this modern gaming BS attached to this game. There's no day one DLC, there's no buy a battle pass, buy all this additional crap. You got a digital deluxe edition and that's it. And in an industry where a lot of other games and franchises double down on annoying anti-consumer policies to try and pad their own bottom line, Black Myth Wukong, like other games in recent memory, is just a really damn good game at a reasonable price point that is really fun to just simply be in, to learn more about. I want to learn more about Chinese mythology because this game has really sparked an interest in that. It feels familiar enough in certain regards, but different and new in others. And it's the perfect combination of this in my opinion. And for a game that I thought was simply going to just be a boss rush and be kinda linear throughout most of it, it has proven to me to be anything but. It's a game that starts narrow and pretty linear, but it just branches out from there. And the more content you consume about Black Myth Wukong as I have been, the more you realize you missed out on. You're like, oh, cool. I didn't think to think like this. I didn't think that I could use the boss's attack to open a wall to lead to a secret area, which may lead to 2 other boss fights to culminate in me getting a new weapon. I didn't think that could happen. And I didn't think I could also open that wall with a certain spirit ability where I turn into a giant guy and bash my head against the wall to open it. I didn't know that if I found 6 Buddha eyes in chapter 2, that it could culminate in me being able to awaken a new boss fight inside of a boss arena. I can watch those 2 bosses duke it out and fight each other. Or you can do what I did, not be able to count, only get 5 Buddha eyes, fight the boss in the arena, desperately try to awaken the other boss, not be able to do that, beat that one boss, have to backtrack, find the other eye, come back, beat that boss's butt, and get a new staff out of it. The game is filled with abundant passion, and it's abundantly apparent. It has a great vision of what it wants to be, and doesn't shy away from that. And at the end of the day, it is simply fun. And the more I play of Black Myth Wukong, the less and less surprising it is to me that it is seeing this level of success. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts, your opinions on Black Myth Wukong. Do you want to pick it up? Have you been playing it? Have you been enjoying it? I'd love to hear your thoughts and hear your opinions and hear your perspectives. Stay safe, have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. If you liked the video and you want to see more content, hit the bell icon to be notified when I upload and stream in the future. Bye bye everybody, until we meet again!